Welcome back, guys. It is Joshua here again, or Joyo, and today we're going to talk a bit about learning a language in the country that speaks the language you want to learn. Now, first of all, we're going to maybe cover a little bit about what I think people expect. Then we're going to what I expected and what is actually happening now that I'm here. Kind of crazy. So, here's one. So we're back. So in case you didn't know, the country that I'm in at the moment is China, and the language that I'm learning right now is Chinese. And I think that what people expect normally is, you know what, learning a language is so hard, like pronouncing it is so hard. I need to go to the country to get immersed in the language. You gotta be immersed in the environment to get good. You gotta be able to hear it and see it every day to improve your language to even get fluent, right? You can't get fluent outside of the country, and we hear these things over and over and over and over and over again. First of all, I understand. Honestly, I understand. And I think maybe in the past it was like that. Because it's like, where are you going to get the resources? Like before, like the internet and stuff. I think this is like a myth that was passed down over years. And, back in the day, I feel like the resources for getting fluent in a language were really lacking. But right now, they really aren't. So we're going to move on to the next point. The next thing is what I expected. So I already believe that, you could get really good at a language without being in the country. That's what I thought. And I thought that when you get to the country, though, that your language learning thing is going to be like, immediately, because now you are immersed, bro. Now, let's jump back real quick to say, why I believed that you could learn the language well or get like really decent without being it are two reasons. One, since my bachelor's, it was supposed to come to China, but since the guy who we won't mention, or the girl, whatever you want to call it, I couldn't come and I had to finish my bachelor's online. However, I was really hopeful and I was saying, you know what, I need to be fluent or at least okay before I get to China, so that if I try to get a job, they would accept me, because at least you could say hello to the customers or whatever. So I was like, one of the things I had was that I needed to believe that I could get good before I get there. I needed that first. And the other thing is resources are there. And so the other thing is， 现在我的中文口音我觉得还可以。每一次我说中文和这些中国人还是马来西亚人都和一些会说中文的人，他们会说啊，你的中文这么好，你这个actually right， 其实如果我说你好，他们可能也会说你的中文很好，但是他们现在他们告诉我的中文很好的原因就是我的口音很像一个不是北京人，是一个 somebody who speaks Chinese well, right？ 好像一个从英国来的说英语的人。The point I'm making is that I've been in China for 3.5 weeks, and I didn't learn I learned like 2%, 1% maybe of my Chinese actually in China. And while I'm not I won't consider myself like fluent, because there's like a lot of words I don't know. I know like maybe like 2,000 max, and I need to have at least like 3,000 to be considered anywhere near fluent, I think. I hear like kids I hear kids every day. I'm getting really off topic here, but I hear kids that I feel like are more fluent or better at grammar than I am. It's ridiculous. But the point I'm trying to make is that what I learned and what I said just now, and a lot of what I say on a daily basis, I actually learned well in Barbados online. So this kind of debunks the myth that you need to be in the country to learn it. Cool. So we already know that that's not the truth. Now on to the last thing, which is what has actually happened since I got here, which is based on the fact that I believed being in a country would automatically make your language just so pew and like increase. Is what actually happened. Right. So as I was telling you all, right, I've been here for like almost 30 days now, almost a month now. And you want to know how many words I've learned just from like going through day by day living? 10 to 20 words max. Maximum 10 to 20 words. Because you see, what happens is you use the words you already know. If you don't know something, you maybe will use English. Some people do kind of understand some English. Some people are really good at English. And then sometimes you may substitute what you want to say for something close to it. Not exactly, but enough that persons will understand. So, maybe like instead of saying you want penne pasta with cheese, you might say the pasta with chicken and cheese, which is kind of similar, but that's probably not a good example. But the point is, life is already so fast that when it comes to a point where you don't know what to say, the first thing isn't to, I'm going to learn it. The first thing is to communicate however you can and get what you want done, or ask for help to get it done. Because ain't nobody going to go to, sorry, maybe people do this, but I personally, when I go to a restaurant and I see this menu with 30 dishes on it, there's no way that I'm going to sit there and think, you know what? This is an excellent opportunity to learn 30 dishes from this restaurant before I order, so that next time I come here, I can say everything and just pick what I want. No, is not going to happen. What I'm going to do is look for the thing that either look good if they got pictures, or look for the thing that I know about, or something that I know about from before, and order that and eat it and get along, because I'm there because I'm hungry. I'm not there to learn. So this is, I think, one of the main reasons that we don't just like automatically improve our language just by going to the country. Let me tell you some more. So what I do know is I started using this book maybe like 2 to 3 days ago. To cut this story short in terms of what this book is, all languages are usually divided into some kind of like leveling system. And this is just one of the levels, the one I'm currently at. In terms of language levels, you could probably talk about that a bit more another time. But yeah, I've started using this book recently. Like every night I'd probably do like 10 words, 15 if I'm pushing it, max like 20. I know people that do like 25 words every day. I know that's amazing. To be honest, kudos to all of you. I'm currently not at that level yet. I don't know if I will ever get at that level, but it's amazing that you guys can do that. That's great. But here's what happens when you intentionally learn like 10, 15, you learn some words every day. What happens, at least for me, is the next day, if those words are, like from some kind of leveling system, they're there because they're used often. You hear them often, you see them often, you may have to use them often. And what happens for me is that the next day, I guarantee you, I will hear at least one of those words. On a good day, you might hear 2, 3 of the words you learn the next day. You know what that does for me? I don't know what that does for you, but what that does for me is dopamine, bro. What it means is that I hear those words and I'm like, yo, I learned that yesterday. This word is useful. What I'm doing is working. Let's do it some more. And then the same night, I go and study some more. The next day you might hear 1, you might hear 2, you might hear 3 again, and wow, that just really makes me want to learn some more, for sure. And I really feel like this is the way you could benefit from being in a country and learning a language. So what I want to say is that it's not like a natural, everyday, you just live, you get it, but like doing things like intentionally studying is where the real benefit comes. Now, here's the other thing. The other benefit that can come from just living here, just living in a country where the language that you're learning is spoken as the mother language. It really needs to be a shorter way to say that. Maybe there is and I just don't know it. But yeah, the real benefit that comes from this is repetition. What I mean is that every day you will be in certain situations over and over again. Not only that, but people will ask you like some of the same questions, like, why are you here? Why did you learn Chinese? Why are you learning in China? Why this major? There's some questions that you will answer over and over, and just like in English, just like in any other language that maybe your mother language too, not just in languages, actually, just in like in sports and anything you do, repetition brings about some like certain results. One of them is speed. The next time you say it, you can say it much faster than last time. Another one is maybe refinement. So maybe you use bigger words or smaller words in your response. You make it, maybe you become able to cater your response to different audiences. And one of the things that's important as like counted as like a measure of fluency is like reaction time. And because you do things over and over, your reaction time definitely improves. And in that way, living in a country will definitely have like a major benefit because you will be forced to repeat. Now, personally, I would tell anybody's asking about language learning, one of the things I did in all the way back in Barbados when I was learning Chinese is I did my own repetition. I didn't need a situation, I would repeat. And I learned this from my first teacher, Li Lao Shi, Grace Lao Shi, and the co-director. She would in class when we were learning, let's say we were learning, hi, how are you? Just probably we're learning ni hao ma. Like we don't actually say that like right now. But the point is, when we say it once, when we get it right once, she would say, all right, 5 more times. And we would have to say at least 5 times and say it right. And then she would do it individually. So we said it together, and then she would tell us to do it individually. And then we might do it together again. And then we might do it with each other, actually responding. And that is then how we're able to now use it afterwards. And from learning from her, I would go home. One of the first sentences I would tell everybody is one of the first sentences I learned in Chinese is 你叫什么名字, which is what is your name. And how did I learn it? I went home and I was like 名字什么名字叫你叫什么名字? And I probably said that, no cap, at least 100 times that one night. And I definitely said it some more the next day. And obviously, I would say at the Confucius Institute, when I'm there to anybody, you know. And repetition is one of the most amazing ways to get good at any language, even your mother language. I think that's how we got good at our mother languages, to be honest. Kind of straying off a little bit, but the point I'm really trying to drive in here is that repetition matters wherever you are. You can do it in your home country, but you can also do it in another country. And I think what happens is that we are forced to do it when we're in a country where it's the mother language, because we encounter those situations over and over. So in that way, it can help, but nevertheless, you may have to say something once or 2 times or 3 times a day, maybe. But if you intentionally repeat on your own, you could say that 10 times, you could say that 20 times, you could even say that 100 times in a day if you want to, and definitely improve your speed and your response time and everything like that. So the whole point of this, the whole nail that I'm trying to drive in, not just to y'all, but to me in my realization recently and over this month, is that just being here or just being anywhere, just going to practice, to whatever practice it is, whether it's a language or whether it's like a sport or whatever, is not how you get good. It's definitely not how you get great. It is by intentionally studying and intentionally putting in effort that you actually make real progress. And on that note, I think I myself will go and study some more. Thanks for listening. Bye.